The problem with having a YouTube channel is that when you change your mind about something you mentioned in a previous video, you hear about it in the comments. This is going to be one of those videos, so dust off your keyboards and get to work down there. Back about 20 years ago, I was really into bicycles. I had a steel frame, sort of boutique bicycle called a Rivendell Atlantis. The reason I went with the Rivendell is because I really liked the company's ethos. They weren't into the whole dressing up like Lance Armstrong thing and spandex and whatever, and, you know, pretending that you're in the Tour de France, whatever. They were more into like merino wool and natural fibers and steel tubed frames and lugs and stuff like that. Stuff, if you know about bicycles, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Anyway, this was also about the time I started getting into motorcycles, and so I was looking for something to wear. What the hell am I? Anyway, so I started looking around on the internet, as it were, back then, and I found this company called Aerostich. And I said to myself, that's some really expensive stuff right there, but look at that. It's pretty much made in the United States. It's done by a small company in Duluth, I believe. The stuff looks like it's super high quality, and it doesn't look modern, you know what I mean? It doesn't look like, well, it doesn't look like the Power Ranger that I swore in a bunch of previous videos that I would never dress like on a motorcycle. It turns out, I bought the most Power Ranger looking riding suit you could possibly buy. And I couldn't be happier. This all kind of started a few months ago when I was having some issues with my Merlin black leather jacket, the Alton 2. The insides of the sleeves, the liner, was all shredded. So I reached out and they said, hey, the liner on my jacket's all shredded. What are we gonna do? And they said they'd send me out a new jacket, and it took a while, but I actually did finally get the jacket last week. And it's lovely. But in the meantime, I kind of remembered the whole Aerostich thing and said to myself, hey, let's take a look on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and see what we can find. And that's when I found this Roadcrafter riding suit about, I don't know, 15 or 20 miles away from my house for $250. Now, this is an older model. I'm not sure exactly when the previous owner bought it. So it might not be the most up-to-date version of the Roadcrafter, but I think it's probably been used maybe once or twice. It is in perfect condition, and it was $250. I looked up online, and I think these things are going for somewhere around $1,900 brand new. So how could I pass it up? This is the two-piece model, so the top zips into the bottoms. And I think I prefer it this way because I can ride with just the jacket and put on whatever pants I want, or use those Pando Moto tights that I have. And so it's pretty versatile, I think. And let's face it, it matches the Gucci. Anyway, the gist of this video is that, you know, when you make YouTube videos, you tend to put a lot of thoughts and opinions out into the world. And sometimes those thoughts and opinions change, and when they do, it gets a little weird and somewhat scary, because you never know what people's reactions are going to be, right? Now, I know that the riding suit isn't a big deal, but I'm just saying, you know, I did think about it. I said, I've been making so many jokes about not looking like a Power Ranger, and now I actually look like a Power Ranger, right down to the color. But owning an Aerostich suit has sort of been a little dream of mine for a long time, and I was able to fulfill it on the cheap, and I just couldn't be happier. It matches the Gucci, it's safe as hell, and it's comfortable, and it's easy, right? I don't have to worry about anything else. I don't have to worry about pants, jacket, any of that stuff. I just throw this thing on. It's easy to get on and off, and I'm pretty damn happy. When I was leaving the house to make this video, I was telling my wife the idea that I was going to go and make a video about my new riding suit and how I look like a Power Ranger, even though I said I would never look like a Power Ranger. And she said, yeah, you know, the idea of the video should be something like, you know, having the courage to change your mind. And I thought, yeah, that's kind of interesting. It doesn't take a lot of courage to change your mind by a riding suit. But You know, it does take a certain amount of knowing yourself and trusting yourself to change your mind and make decisions that go contrary to what you've said in the past. There's the optics of it. How does that look to you when I say something and do something completely different? And how does it look to me? Is this my ADD talking, or is this, just following a dream, following something that you've always wanted to do? I don't know. It's something I've always wanted to do. 20 years I've been looking at these damn suits. Never thought I'd own one. Honestly, I'm kind of priced out of buying a new one. But for $250 to have one that looks like it's a brand new, and I get to experience riding across the country in it, that's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm a week and a day away from leaving on my big trip. I leave June 5th from Portland, Oregon, and my first stop is going to be somewhere around Spokane, Washington. After that, a funny little thing has popped up that I may, in fact, try and attempt to do. A friend of mine is buying a Harley, one of those Pan American things, and she's going to be out sort of near Spokane about the time I'm passing through. So I'm thinking about maybe going and saying hi and checking out this Pan American. I've seen them in showrooms, but I've never actually touched one or sat on one. So maybe she'll let me sit on it and, I don't know, maybe ride it around the parking lot. Anyway, that's the news from Lake Wobegon, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and follow along on my little journey across America and back. I gotta get back. I mean, I guess I don't have to get back, but I should. You know what I'm saying.